A stupid video about the use of emojis.
We're just gonna get this out of the way right at the beginning. I feel like I can be honest with you. This was supposed to be an easy video. I get lazy sometimes, and this was supposed to be a stupid and really quick idea just so I could put something in for the upload schedule. And I mean truly, what could be dumber than this? This was only supposed to be 6 or 7 minutes of me making fun of emojis that I found online. Cat crying with tears of joy. Now isn't that comical? I was hoping to make this entire thing from start to finish within 1 or 2 days. Yeah, it became so much more than that. I have spent the last 2 weeks researching internet history and encoding standards and Japanese pop culture and ancient Greek writing practices and the complexity of linguistics in the 4 developer subcategories of phone makers and the depths of human emotion itself. And for what? For this? I'm a bit of a broken man, I can admit that. This is such a dumb topic for which I have wasted dozens of hours of my life that I will never get back. With that being said, we have so much to talk about. Real life, in-person communication is a complicated thing. There are classes and entire degrees on the subject. I assume. I don't really know what a communications major does, but I'm assuming that's what it is, right? If not, I have so many other questions, and there are so many factors to it that we maybe don't always give thought to. Sure, there is verbal communication, but the words we're saying are really only one piece of a bigger puzzle. Your body language, tone of voice, gestures, twitches, volumes, eye contact, these are all forms of nonverbal communication that, along with the spoken word, tell a story. For example, consider the following phrase. What does that mean?
That's so true. Oh my god. What does that mean, bro? It's no way. You could literally perceive this as no way. No way. No way, Jose. There's probably a lot of other ways you could perceive it, but how are you reading that and understanding it? You don't fucking know what the tonality is.
Well, I'm sure you understand the meaning of the words, understanding the emotions behind them. I mean, that could be more difficult because this could mean anything. No way. No way. No way.
That's hilarious. What in God? Oh my god. Okay, that's crazy work. All right.
Nonverbal cues are a fundamental part of day-to-day communication. They're a part of our recipe. So you take some of those key ingredients out, and you're not getting the same result. So you take away the rich ingredients of communication, and you're left with no way. No way. No way. That is not the same thing. Plain text may convey messages, but it may not properly communicate the thoughts behind them. Written text has a long history of trying to be understood beyond the words written. In ancient Greek, this is what written text often looked like. It looked regal, elegant, the thinking man's literature. No, it was a pretentious jumble of words that made no sense. Now, none of us-
Yo, there's no spaces in these fucking letters. You're telling me that this is how Greek people wrote and read things? Hell fucking no, dude. Holy shit. You're telling me I'm supposed to interpret this whole fucking block of text, bro? What am I just reading that shit? Holy fuck.
Speak ancient Greek, so we probably don't think about it, but have you noticed how there's no punctuation or spaces or lowercase anywhere here? Scriptio.
That's what I'm fucking saying, dude. If I had to read this shit back in the day, I would be pissed, man. I'd be like, there's gotta be a fucking better way to do this shit. That's probably why they actually started creating better Latin languages that weren't just fucking crazy. They started adding punctuation in the shit. They're like, something's gotta give, man. It can't be this hard.
Continua is a style of writing that thinks that it's too good for any of those things, and it was very common among the ancient Greeks and Romans. The modern English equivalent being something along the lines of from this to this.
Oh my god! Oh my god, yeah. When criticized is not offended, in my experience, it's always been responsible, though, is to be rational, being... Oh my god. You know what's crazy about this, too? This, to me, looks like a crossword puzzle. Like, you could accidentally say a word that's not actually meant to be there. Like, look, you have it's not right here. I could go it's not. It's not. And I'm like, it's not. What are you fucking talking? Oh, it's not. Like, bro, punctuation is powerful. That was really stupid that I just like went into detail about that, but that shit is fucking so crazy. I could not imagine reading vomit like this.
It's a lot less readable, right? That wasn't until about the 3rd century when Greek librarian and scholar Aristophanes decided that's dumb and invented the first form of rudimentary punctuation. Punctuation allows the spoken word to be understood in silence. Instead of just assuming where one idea stops and the next starts, the author just tells you. And while this undeniably helped with the clarity of the message, what did it do to...
Bro just added periods and he was like, okay, this... I feel like this is helping, but maybe there's a little something else that we could do. He's like, this helped a little bit. What else could we do to add to this? I can barely understand Shakespeare, and that's only 400 years old. Yeah, I mean, that's different from punctuation, though. That's like the way they speak is way different back then, too. Where you have to actually like understand words that are not in practice anymore. That's a weird thing for sure.
Convey the emotion behind it. From my point of view, besides the exclamation point and skillful use of the question mark, it would seem that formal punctuation only serves to explain the what of what was said, not the how or why of what was said. That isn't to say there were no attempts at such ideas. Punctuation like the percontation mark, the snark, and the interrobang, all of which are funny words.
What? Indicates surprise and disbelief? Dude, we should still have this. Wait, what?
Of what was said. That isn't to say there were no attempts at such ideas. Punctuation like
indicates a rhetorical question. No fucking way.
The percontation mark.
Wait, I've seen the percontation mark, but I didn't know what it was. Oh wait, no, you see that shit in Spanish. I'm tripping. No, wait, what? Spanish, you have the upside down question mark, actually, not the backwards one. Right? Is it upside down? I think so. I'm tripping.
Indicates snark and the interrobang, all of which are funny.
We should keep this one, though. Interrobang indicates surprise and disbelief. Seriously, though. Indicates surprise and disbelief, bro. We should still have this shit. You know how many times I was writing in school and I was like, I want to, like, how do I indicate surprise and disbelief? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I put a question mark and an exclamation mark when I'm asking a question and putting, like, an emphasis on the question? I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I do both? Is that functional punctuation? I actually ran into this fucking problem so much in my writing. I wanted this shit a long time ago. Why didn't I get introduced to this shit?
Words to say were all attempts at better conveying emotions through punctuation, but they never really caught on mainstream. So with that, we're right back at where we started. What?
That shit should have been mainstream. I would have used that shit.
What does this mean? Now, this was the exact issue back in 1982 at Carnegie Mellon.
Looks like question mark and an exclamation mark combined into one. That's exactly what it is. But it's fire. If I would have known that shit existed, I would have used that shit all the time.
Where on a student-teacher forum, joke messages were getting lost in translation with serious messages. People just couldn't tell the difference because, again, plain text, I don't know what this means exactly. That wasn't until computer scientist Scott Fahlman proposed a simple solution to solve the problem. He was able to change the course of digital communication with 3 simple keystrokes. Huh. No way.
Let's go! The birth of the emoticon.
Yes, while Fahlman believed that this comical proposal would be short-lived, within a year, it had gone global. Emoticon.
Yo, you know what's crazy about emoticons, bro? This is like one of the main indicators of like if you are like a Gen Z, you have to be like late Gen Z or millennial. If you use these still, people instantly know how old you are. I don't use this shit anymore. I used to use this shit though because you had to. There was no emojis. You had to literally put the colon, the semicolon, whatever it was, and the parentheses. You had to do that shit to express, like, you know, you're trying to be flirty or you're trying to be a happy person. I don't know, smiley, laughing. There's like the colon and the D as well, the capital D. That's like, you know, I say LOL too much like a millennial. I say LOL too, but I feel like LOL is like not really. I think it's like a universally used phrase at this point. I feel like Gen Alpha is even saying LOL still. But yeah, like if you use the emoticons and you're not using emojis, people know how old your ass is. I always notice it when people use it. I'm like, damn, I was in that time. Shit. It makes me really think about like how old I am. Anyways,
had taken off, and it's not entirely difficult to see why. For one thing, they worked. Plain text now had character and individuality. I mean, really, who of us hasn't used :P, less than sign colon, open parentheses, and of course, XD?
Oh, bro, XD is crazy work. XD is crazy work. If you're still using XD, you're cooked. Oh, God, you're cooked. You're going to get roasted in the group chat. It'll be like, oh, yeah, you say XD, they're gonna send you a picture of a fucking like emo goth band. Those dudes that had the really long black hair and the mascara around their eyes that was crazy, and they're like doing screamo and shit. They're gonna send you a picture of that and be like, "This is you."
Because I wasn't born in the 80s. Nobody does that anymore. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I grew up watching Disney XD, and I did not understand the joke until much, much later in my life.
I didn't know that Disney XD was literally that emoticon. Wait, is it actually that emoticon? I just thought that it was like, oh yeah, they're using XD because it's like it sounds cool. I literally just thought it was like, oh yeah, it's to sound cool and hip for the young kids.
Nobody does that anymore. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I grew up watching Disney XD, and I did not understand the joke until much, much later in my life. Emoticons are boring and lame in the eyes of the modern person. I need something that's far more expressive, something that's really gonna show exactly how I'm feeling, exactly the way I'm feeling it.
To be fair, there's a limited amount of things that you can use with the emoticons that we had. You can't express some of the things that you can now express with these emojis. All right? I will say that.
It's one to do in such a predicament. The only thing we can do in such situations, we turn to the Japanese. The idea of the emoticon had already been adopted and expounded upon by the Japanese advent of the cowmoji, which is like an emoticon for people who really want to prove to you that they're better than you at emoticons. And it was these humble symbols that set the stage for the next era of visual communication in the digital world. Yay! We're at the point where we're talking about the whole point of this video. Woo! The word emoji came into use around the late 90s. And as you can probably assume, seeing how emoji and emotion are so close to each other in name, and that emojis are used to convey emotions, it's pretty obvious that the word emoji has almost nothing to do with the word for emotion. No, actually, the word emoji comes from two different Japanese words, which I am sure I'm about to mess up the pronunciation of. Meaning picture, and moji, meaning character. Now, the creation of the emoji is generally credited to Shiketaka Kurita in 1999 for use under the Japanese mobile character NTT Docomo. There is no way I pronounced any of that right, but we will continue. They were 176 12 by 12 pixel images that were meant to enhance communication. Fun fact, you can go see the original 176 in a permanent installation at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. And looking at it, cool. I don't know how to confirm this information, but I don't see.
I want to look at these, bro. What are some of these symbols? What the fuck do they mean? You have this weird hourglass on its side. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. This one's basketball, I think. Is this a flag or is it like 3 dots? Granted, this is made by a person that is Japanese, so the culture of the use of symbols is going to be different. I just don't know what those symbols are referring to. This D with a dash through it, don't know what that means. I mean, this is This is yen, right? Does that mean yen? That must be another currency. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. There's a bomb? Oh, yeah, the bomb one. The bomb one we'd be using. You da bomb. Put a little bomb emoji. You da bomb. What about, there's some standard ones, you know, little cars, buses, food. Revolutionary, man.
Any people emoji. There's no faces? Really? You have 5 for different phases of the moon. No laughing emoji. That's weird. Emoji grew in popularity, and soon different companies were coming up with their...
That's a good point, bro. They've made... When are you going to be talking about moon phases? Just normally, unless you're a lunar, you know, scientist of some sort, or a fucking astrophysicist or whatever. When are we going to be talking about the lunar phases in normal conversation like that? You just, oh, which moon phase do I want?
Own different emoji sets. By the late 2000s, it had become abundantly clear that emoji was no passing fad. It was a part of digital communication, and it needed to be standardized. Why? Quick question, this is going to sound dumb, but how does your computer know what A is? Why is it that no matter what phone, iPad, computer, or anything else that you use or send something to, a 7 always shows up as a 7, an @ symbol always shows up as an @ symbol, or the Chinese character for cat always shows up as itself? That Chinese character being pronounced as... There's no way it's pronounced like that. Are you serious? How do they all come up the same so consistently? Unicode, baby! Founded in January of 1991, Unicode serves as an international standard for characters on computers. No matter where you go, this will always show up as that. So really, your computer doesn't know what A is, it knows the hexadecimal code U plus 0041, which it uses to interpret as A. Every character you see on a computer has one, and as emojis increased in popularity over time, it became abundantly clear that they too would need an international standard. And so after receiving proposals from both Apple and Google, Unicode finally agreed to standardize emojis for computers the world over. And now every emoji in use has a code that can be recognized by computers everywhere. And Unicode has a list of those codes publicly for anybody to see on the internet. A list of codes that anybody can look up at any time for video research for any topic, no matter how useless or dumb or waste of time it might be. Face with theme from nose, U plus 1F624. Index pointing at the viewer, U plus 1F-AF5. Red apple, U plus 1F34E, not to be confused with green apple, which is U plus 1F34F.
Yeah, I can't lie. Now that we're talking about this shit, I have no clue what the fuck you talking about. I know he's talking about, like, the code for the actual emoji and, like, identifying the fucking characters. But as soon as he started talking about, like, how does the computer know what A is? Lost me. I have no fucking clue what you mean at this point in the video. I guess it is just the code for whatever it is, but holy shit. This is like computer science and shit. I don't think I could ever do it. Oh, hell no. I don't think I could ever do that shit.
Answer your question, I haven't been sleeping well the past few days. Why do you ask? Also, did you know you can just like make your own emoji? Did you know that? And no, I'm not talking about Apple's like new AI prompt-based, you come up with your own emoji for iOS 18. No, that's cheating. We're not talking about that. I mean, you can like tell Unicode you have an idea for an emoji and they will accept it, and then like they'll make a code for it, and then every phone will have it. Like you can do that. Like your idea, and then it will be in the emoji keyboard the next time like Apple or Samsung updates their software. The only thing...
No way. I feel like that had to have been how this emoji came out to be. You know what emoji I'm talking about? It's like the one with the wide eyes. Can you see that shit? I don't know if you can see that shit, but it has like wide eyes. And it's like zoomed in and warped. I swear to God, I saw that shit on the internet before it became an emoji, and then suddenly it's an emoji. Like, what?
About that is that you have to write like a 10-page paper, and the process takes about 2 years. Surely, no one is that dumb and patient so as to commit to the bit so hard for a video, and essentially what will only be a short snippet of a much longer video, and it would not be a good use of time, and it would be very dumb, and no one in their right mind should do that.
No way.
is what I would have done if the official submission window for the year hadn't closed about a month ago, but just as well. I mean, it's not like I could come up with an original emoji idea. They've all been made. There's no way I could think of one that was funny and relatable and that hasn't been made before, and it could be very useful in very specific circumstances. There's no way I could think of one. An empty wallet emoji with flies coming out of it. That's the idea. Picture the scene. I'm about to go over to a friend's house, and the group chat suggests that we get some food. Somebody in said group chat asks if we all want to pitch in for pizza. I took a quick look at my bank account. I said, huh, interesting. I needed a lighthearted way to tell them all that I'm too broke and I'll simply starve. I looked, there was no emoji for that. Boom, empty wallet emoji. If this video
relatable ass experience, holy mother of God. Yeah. That might be the greatest possible idea for an emoji ever. Especially in today's day and age. Oh my God. Yo, he's on something.
Gets 100,000 likes, I will write the 10-page proposal and I will submit it next year, and it'll be in your phones by the year 2028.
You have to write a 10-page proposal?
But emojis are far more than fun and cute pictures. They're a means for communication. Casper Grathwall, is that how you say that name? President of Oxford Dictionary, is quoted as saying, emojis are becoming an increasingly rich form of communication, one that transcends linguistic borders. In researching this
Yo, hearing people who are like sophisticated with how they talk is crazy. Like when they're describing shit like this. I don't know, being like, emoji are becoming an increasingly rich form of communication, one that transcends linguistic borders. Like, yes, but that's like so goofy because we're in the technological revolution. We're advancing so quickly. It's like, why are we? I know it's just how they talk. Like, it's how some people talk, but it's like, you sound like you're literally living in the medieval ages talking about emojis. I don't know why that's bothering me. It's not bothering me in the sense that I'm mad about it. It's just so goofy to me.
Are becoming an increasingly rich form of communication, one that transcends linguistic borders. In researching this video, I came across this old McDonald's ad wherein the whole thing is just emoji people? That's what you'd call them, right? I mean, what else would... Yeah, that's it. Emoji people. There's no talking in the ad, no nothing. It's just emojis, and it should be weird, but they convey emotions, and it tells a story, and it's kind of cute. I give it... It's a solid 7 out of 10 ad. And it was only at the end of the ad that I realized it was in French. And frankly, if it weren't for that last 2 seconds, I would have never known that. Because language, yeah, that has barriers, but everybody can understand emotions. So... That's true. I did too. And emojis limits as
true. That is so true. I didn't even think about it like that. That is so true. But it would be kind of shitty if like all of the actually no. I kind of do hate when they talk in advertisements because it's like, all right. Like every single time you see an ad for something, you're like, yeah, you're just trying to get me to buy something. You see something like that, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's cute. And that's going to make you want to buy it more. I don't know.
Language in and of itself has definitely been tested. There is a book called Book from the Ground that is entirely told through the use of icons and pictograms, and it is surprisingly readable.
Oh my God. You know what that reminds me of too, by the way? That first fucking thing that it showed earlier in the video, that it was the Japanese like first emoticons that were ever made, and there's a museum where you can see them in New York. Those remind me of who fucking played PictoChat on DSi or on Nintendo DS. Oh my God, absolute cinema. PictoChat, bro. Holy fuck. Dude, I was playing PictoChat with my brother and sister. We would send each other shit in the house. We thought it was so funny that we could like talk to each other without being like in each other's presence through text. We would just send each other funny shit. And that, oh my God. This is literally giving me, like, dope-ass memories that I've had in a long time. Yo. PictoChat. Goated, man. Goated! We gotta look at that shit. Hold on. Chat, look at this shit. Oh my God. Choose a chat room to join. There's no one in this right now. Wait, hold on. There might be. Nope. We're gonna go into chat room A. Dude, what? Look at this shit, chat. This is... I can't believe I found PictoChat online. What the fuck? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Dude. Happy face. Angry face. Sad face. Meh. Meh face. You got the sun. You got the cloud. You got the umbrella. You got this thingy. I don't know what that is. The email button. The phone button. The, the clock. Took me a while to figure out what I was saying there. Then you got A, B, X, Y, L, R for the fucking controls. The D-pad. Bro. Pigdo chat, bro. And then you'd send this shit. You'd send this shit, and then someone in the other room. You'd be on the same Wi-Fi connection. My little brother and sister would be in the other room. They'd send their own little message. You know, and then you could say it. You could fucking type in another language. I'm LARPing being Japanese right now. There we go. Japanese LARP. But yeah, this shit was fire. Could type music notes. Like, bruh. OG, and the sound effects, the little, that little, and the typing sounds. I love that shit, man. Holy fuck. I can't believe PictoChat's online. What the hell? I don't know how I found this, but that was awesome. That really just took me back. Sorry.
The crying laughing emoji was somehow Oxford Dictionary's 2015 word of the year. And for a brief moment, there was a social media platform that was entirely emoji. No words. You couldn't type in any language except emoji. Even your username had to be in emojis. It was made by a dude named Matt Gary and Tom Scott. Yeah, that Tom Scott. I would also argue that the use of emojis is very good for developing relationships. A bit of a stretch, possibly, but hear me out. What are relationships if not a constant stream of emotions? One's emotional involvement is exactly what separates companions from colleagues. You tend to get more emotionally involved with people you choose to keep in your life, as opposed to the people who just so happen to be in your life. And with that being said, who do you find yourself using emojis with more? Your boss? Or your wife? And there you go, that settles it. If you want to have more lasting interpersonal relationships in your life, you have to use more emojis. It's the only way. Causation versus correlation, I'm not familiar with those terms. In the book, The Encyclopedia of the Sciences of Learning, it says in part, studies have demonstrated that mimicry is a communication tool used to create and regulate social interactions and show others that you understand them. It can truly be called social glue, which helps to create strong ties and relationships between individuals. It's common that in social interactions we try and copy and imitate some of the mannerisms and quirks of the people we're talking to.
Would you guys argue that we're having a technological revolution, and I would say that the technological revolution overarches a bunch of mini revolutions that we're having? I feel like we're having a social revolution right now too, as a result of the technological revolution, in part of the technological revolution, but also socially in terms of like movements and like just being yourself and being who you are meant to be in your life socially and in social issues as well. There's like a revolution of social, not socialism, a social revolution happening, which is sick. I don't know. I think that's cool, actually. Now that I think about that, that's crazy. And this is like a facet of it, of course. I feel like maybe he would be talking about emojis in this video, and this is what I'm gonna guess too. Emojis drive me nuts because they are meant to mean something, but online, motherfuckers make them mean shit that they don't actually mean. You know what I mean? That was a lot of means. Fuck. Like they'll put laughing emojis after something to like, I guess the context of the words gives the emojis meaning. That's actually crazy to think about. We use the emojis to give meanings to words, to give tonalities to words, but now emojis have multiple meanings in themselves to where they themselves have become a keyboard. So now the context of the words give the emojis meaning too. So like you could be like, bro thought that he was Superman and put the laughing emoji, and that's me. That's like you laughing because it's funny, but not just because it's funny, but you're making fun of them, right? And then you could also put, that was such a good time with a laughing emoji, and you're recalling on how funny it was and how fun it was too. Like, oh shit, this, it was so fun, like we had a good time, we were laughing the whole time. And that, those are two different statements that give context to those emojis, which adds meaning to the emojis that are meant to express meaning, which is crazy to think about. So I wonder if he's talking about that.
I believe the scientific term is match the vibe. I thought that would be funny in my head, I apologize. Sometimes it's a conscious thing, but a lot of the times it isn't. Like, think, do your friends have mannerisms that you have caught yourself, like, doing even when they're not there? For example, a friend of mine started doing this thing. I don't know if it's recent, but I started noticing it recently. When she...
Yo, I have another thought. What if this is part of the social revolution that I was talking about earlier, where we mimic each other? I swear we do it not just to adapt socially and be more likable in this situation. Like, if we're gonna go the biological route, and make it have like some sort of scientific biological meaning for us to like succeed in our evolutionary cycle and to pass on our genes, blah blah blah. There's that part of it, but also I genuinely think that we are developing a social, like, our social understanding of things is evolving even further to the point where we're just trying to like create bits. Like, we're all trying to be comedians at all times. Like, there's times to be funny and there's times to be like serious, I guess, but like whenever you're doing things like that, like you'll pick up on mannerisms of people that you are around or people you admire. I feel like you are doing it for to like make a bit a lot of the time. Be like, oh shit, like you're trying to create a funny moment every single moment or create a memorable moment every single moment by doing those things. I'm curious if there's anything into that, because I've thought about this before where it's like, it's interesting that we copy each other's mannerisms and things of that nature, and a lot of the time we want to be expressive in that way so that we can like get a reaction out of people, but not necessarily like a negative reaction, but like a memorable reaction. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but yeah.
disapproves of something, she goes, wait, hold on, you ready?
That's funny as fuck.
And I just think that's really funny. Whether it's a tone of voice, a catchphrase, or a gesture, we oftentimes copy what our friends do, and they copy our mannerisms as well. I've seen it called the chameleon effect in some places, and it's not a thing of trying to steal your thing. It's really quite the opposite. It's like a whole imitation is the most sincere form of flattery type of thing. A lot of people would consider it a sign of closeness and companionship. So when done right, this type of mimicry is actually appealing to people and can help deepen relationships. And this can be done in person or in text. Now, there was a study about this conducted by Christopher Newport University that essentially boiled down to, hey, look at these two random text conversations from strangers you've never met, in which...
You heard me. I don't think I did. That's cap. Not gonna lie, you sound kind of crazy. Don't try to gaslight me. I know where you live. I moved. You heard me. I don't think I did. That's cap. Not gonna lie, you sound kind of crazy. Don't try to gaslight me. I know where you live. I moved. That's fire. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I be texting like this dude on the left at all times. Even to my closest fucking homies. I should be this person more often, for sure. I don't think I realized how much more entertaining it is to be person number 2 over person number 1. Adapt. Adapt and conquer, chat. Adapt and conquer.
Scenario does blue bubbles seem more likable? And most people said scenario too. Mimicking another person's style of communication breeds camaraderie, but it should be noted, this is not the same thing as a carbon copy. So in summary, you will seem more likable, not if you completely copy someone else, but if you match the vibe.
Y'all remember that motherfucker that pretended to be Drake? You know what I'm talking about? That guy that popped off for literally just imitating Drake. There's people that do this with Michael Jackson too all the time. Michael Jackson, I feel like it's a little bit of a different scenario, but there's people that mimic Drake, and it's like, why are you mimicking Drake? Like, I mean, you can go into the controversy of Drake, but Drake's alive, man. Drake is alive. Like, I feel like in every instance of people mimicking Michael Jackson, it's because they're acknowledging how great Michael Jackson was and how they wish that he was still alive, and that they're trying to add to his legacy to show, like, how much he's loved. First of all, no one's gonna have the level of aura that Michael Jackson had, okay? That motherfucker stand there for 2 minutes without moving, and people were fainting. Damn near dying in that fucking stadium during the Super Bowl. Alright? No one's gonna have that level of aura ever again. Hell no. But that shit was funny to me. Just the Drake guy, hilarious, bruh. Hilarious. It's like, why are we pretending to be Drake? And it was like he was adopting the persona and actually actually pretending to be him. He would like go to clubs and like people would be like, oh my god, like taking pictures with him because they're like, are you Drake? And he'd be like, yeah. Like, first of all, how are people thinking that, dude? Look at this, dude. Hold on. This was the Drake impersonator. It's like, bro, we know you're not Drake. And he was actually going into clubs and shit. Going into clubs, talking to girls and stuff. They're like, oh my god, let me take pictures with you. He's like, yeah. Yeah, just acting like he's Drake. Like, what? That shit is so goofy, bro. Oh my god.
Now, I'm sure we've all had a lot of fun discussing our favorite little text message pictures, but the jokes are over now. It's time to get serious. Now, as we previously discussed, emojis are in their own way a sort of language. And what's the most enjoyable part of learning a new language? Memorizing an exhaustive list of grammar rules. Emojis have a loose and sort of unspoken set of rules, so allow me to clearly define them based on nothing but my own preferences and taste. Emojis belong at the end of messages. None of this at the beginning or scattered within the message malarkey. This lacks synergy. This lacks class. Only 3 emojis per message. If you need more than that, you're not doing it right. Go back to the drawing board and think out of the box, because this is not the move.
Yeah, no,
This is not the way. If an emoji does not add to the emotion of the message, it doesn't make it funnier, it doesn't help it to be better understood, then
yo, oh my god. Ethan, if you're watching this, this is how you use emojis. But it has a meaning. It's like mysterious. It's like mysterious. This has a meaning to me. But Ethan fucking uses emojis like this. I have a homie, he uses emojis like this. He'll literally, this is an Ethan message. I love Raisin Bran. What is it? That's fucking new moon, right? That's what it's called when the moon is not visible. It's a new moon, or not visible, but, you know, dark-sided, where the earth is covering, or the earth is casting a shadow onto the moon. It's called a new moon, right? Or, oh no, that's lunar eclipse that I'm thinking of. But yeah, I guess same thing. And then you got the fucking unicorn. Like, this to me is like mysterious with a little bit of whimsy. I love Raisin Bran. Mysterious with a little bit of whimsy, you know? This is how Ethan texts. It has meaning, but it's very, like, you have to know the person very well for the person to use these types of emojis. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cut it. It's annoying and a waste of space.
No,
I know
it's
it to be
not.
true, and I think you know it to be true as well. You cannot use the same emoji back to
It
back.
is annoying if it's a person that you don't know. It's like, what is that even supposed to mean? I don't know you.
Over and over again. This lacks.
Okay, I agree with this because I just imagine like a dude's putting the laughing emoji after every message. I just imagine them they're going like, yeah, that was so crazy. Then you reply back to them and they're like, I know, right? Then you reply back to them and they're like, yeah, I want to go to that party again. Like, chill.
Creativity and shows over dependence. You're better than this. It should not be your one go-to. Have a few in your arsenal.
Yeah, so she's not gonna make it. That's crazy. Wait, oh, the homie. You still coming, right? Yeah, I'll be there. Bro, stop doing that. What you talking about? Bro doesn't like the emojis at the end of every message still.
And use them sparingly. All of this can be summed up with the following principle. Emojis are like seasoning in food. Use none and you'll be boring and bland. Use too many and you'll be overpowering and annoying. But if you
Straight
find
up.
the sweet spot with just the right amount, it will be perfection.
Straight up.
Do with that information what you will.
Sometimes though, I just be wanting to I want to keep shit simple. I just want to send the message and get that shit out of the way. I don't have time to entertain bullshit sometimes with an emoji. But I'm realizing that that's kind of an L, use of my time. If I'm in a text, I may as well make it full of whimsy. So I might learn from this video. I don't know.
Why all the rules? Shouldn't we be able to use them however we want? They're just little pictures. No! Haven't you been listening to anything we've been talking about? You know,
Straight up.
maybe you can argue that's how emoji started, but as it stands, emoji are their own secondary language, so to speak. They can't stand
my
as a
God.
language on their own like hieroglyphics, but they definitely are some way of communicating with other people. And like any form of written communication, its rules don't always have to make sense to be accepted and understood.
Yo, he's talking about what I was talking about earlier. Like how the emojis themselves have different meanings depending on the context of the words before the emoji.
For example, which one of these is angry? And why? Why are periods an indicator of anger or upsetness? Why does proper sentence structures look weird in text messages? Why does one of these messages denote sarcasm?
Because texts are meant to be quickly done, and when there's punctuation, people think, damn, they actually put time into typing this. They're trying to get a message across. I feel like that's the whole reason why it is perceived as like bad. You know what's funny is I would put punctuation in my messages when I was first getting into texting people, and I would do it literally because I was like, I need to make sure that I keep using grammar properly. I don't want to get lazy on my grammar. I have no clue why I cared about it that much, but yeah, I probably didn't realize that I was coming off as a dick sometimes when I was texting.
And annoyance, while the other one denotes good vibes and happy times. The world may never know. Communication is complicated, and you can give yourself a headache trying to standardize and rationalize every agreed upon part of it. Instead of doing that, just go with the flow. Stop using 4 emojis in a row and join the rest of us who are in the 21st century. Emojis, like any language, can change meaning over time, meaning that terms that once had one connotation can today have a completely different one. I find this discord easiest spotted among different generations. Case in point, the thumbs up emoji. Thumbs up in the real world means nice, good job, I agree, something along those lines, and it can mean that in text messages, or the exact opposite.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, I like using the thumbs up to be like, have you guys ever seen that, have you guys ever seen that image where it's like a person crying about something, like they're freaking out trying to get a reaction out of these two people that are just sitting there in their own group talking. It's like these two guys, there's a person over here, this person's screaming, these two guys are talking, and then after that person gets done screaming and crying about what they're doing, one of the guys that's sitting there talking, he just looks over, reaches over, and goes, and then goes back to talking to the guy. It's like a rage bait fucking thing to do. It's so funny. I think it's funny because it's like, so you hit on me. Got it. Good on you, buddy. Like, that shit is way more funny to me than actually using it unironically. Just, oh, thank you. Like, I don't know. I think it's so funny. It's like a stern, like, I guess if you use it in actual messaging where you're just like trying to mean exactly what you mean, and you're like thanks, you put the thumbs up so that you don't sound overly eager with the smiling emoji or something, like thanks. It's like, no, I'm not that happy about it. Where it's like yo, can you get my shift covered next week? Oh yeah, I got you. And then the person just goes, thanks, with the thumbs up. It's like, thank you for doing that, not thanks. Like, you know, it just sounds really desperate when you have the happy ass motherfucking emoji to describe that thank you. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, thanks. It's like kind of an ore farmer way to say thanks.
What's interesting is that the thumbs up would seem counterintuitive to be used in this message, but really it adds to the emotions of the message, that emotion being sarcasm. Now this is expert level usage, but an older generation does not understand such nuances. It's the same how when they announce something sad to the family group chat, in the worst way possible. Yes, grandma needing surgery is a sad thing, but if you convey that information like this, I will giggle, and that's your fault. The sheer number.
Yeah. See, but you understanding the nuance of different generations not understanding the same fucking meaning as like this crying emoji. Like the crying emoji is mostly used in today's context in like younger people. We will put the crying emoji when we're talking about something being so fucking funny. And if someone uses this and you understand that they're like, you know, from an older generation, you understand the nuance of that. You understand the nuance of the subject matter being sad too. To me, I'm not going to look at it and actually giggle because I'm not going to be like, oh, like, I would only giggle if I'm like, imagine if like I saw this shit in a Instagram comment section. But in this context, someone sends me that, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, why is grandma in the hospital? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be laughing.
Will giggle, and that's your fault. The sheer number of emojis that we now have.
Or he's saying it's your fault, like as the person that is giggling at
But if you convey that information like this, I will giggle, and that's your fault.
No, it's not their fault. This is the thing I disagree with. It's not their fault because they're a product of their time. They're using the emojis how they understand them. It's up to you to not giggle because you are the person that understands the nuance. The old generation doesn't understand the nuance because they are not chronically online like we are. That's up to us to determine that shit. We're in control, so we're gonna be the ones that have to, you know, take the reins in those situations.
The sheer number of emojis that we now have and the growing number of them that we get each year is both a cause for joy and for caution, because we now have more options to convey our emotions, but we also have more ways to lead to misunderstandings. For example, these texts have slightly different meanings. How so?
Oh my god, bro. I see why. Fucking bitch. Stupid ass bitch. I see why. I'm not surprised at all. I guess these kind of go similarly in a way, but this one's like leaning more to like the like holy fuck I'm surprised / this is funny. And then this one's like I see why, kind of similarly to that one too. And then I see why, like rolling, dying, laughing, like something actually funny happened. Like a person, this one is the context of like a person just flew off of their dirt bike, ate shit really hard, and then they send a message and they're like, my tummy hurts really bad. And then it's like, I see why with the rolling laughing face. This one's like, I see why, like, a person is like, if a person's like, oh yeah, a person's like an incel, right? They're just like, I don't, I never talk to women. I never get in relationships with women. I've never been able to hold a conversation with a woman, and it's all the woman's fault. And then a person would say, I see why with the clown emoji. Right? But yeah, I don't know why I'm going into detail with this.
I can't fully explain. It's so slight that if I actually tried to articulate why they're different, it would just come across as nitpicky and redundant. But if you use these emojis frequently, then you understand that these are very slightly different. Yeah. Sure, at their core, they mean I'm playfully saying that I can understand the embarrassment of what you just said. But past that, what do they imply? Is this a forced laughter, or do you find this genuinely hilarious? Are you laughing with me or at me?
I'm
Do you find this relatable?
Bro, the clown one is only disrespect. There's no I'm laughing with you on the clown one. The clown one, you're dissing that motherfucker. There's no way that can be interpreted as like, oh yeah, I'm laughing with you. There's no fucking way.
Or do you think I'm dumb? Do you?
I mean, that could be a dumb too.
Like, this is...
But this is the thing too, is like a lot of this shit is really up to each individual person. Each person's probably gonna think of it a little bit differently. But in my opinion, the clown one's straight up disrespect no matter how you look at it.
Stupid, right? And it's not that deep. Really, it shouldn't be. But if you're an overthinker or an overanalyzer, you get very anxious or you're very self-conscious, then these are probably thoughts that you've had before. How can this be solved? The solution is try your best not to read into things too much and tread carefully when you text others. That's it. Be wise. Be smart.
True. Objections to their use.
Now, it would seem that all objections to the use of emojis stem from three camps. They're either too feminine, too lazy, or too casual. Now, believe it or not, but there is more than one Reddit thread in existence arguing whether or not men should use emojis in text conversations. That's pretty stupid. I feel like there are better ways people...
Yo, there's nothing more dumb than when a person says... okay. There's nothing more fucking non-masculine than when a dude tries to determine what masculinity is for other dudes. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you're in a Reddit thread being like, men shouldn't use emojis, it's not masculine, you look like a cornball. And you look the least masculine because you're trying to determine what masculinity is for everyone else because you're so uncomfortable with your masculinity that you're getting offended by the dumbest shit known to man that you see other men do. And it makes you question your own masculinity, which is so weird. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
People can be using time, but sure, let's analyze that. And look, we're not even talking about a heart emoji or flower emojis. We're talking like basic, like laughing and thumbs up, I think even. Now, if I understand correctly, the issue stems from the fact that emojis, as we discussed previously, are all about expressing emotion. And also, they're very cute. And in what could be its own video topic, keeping up this facade of the manly man 24/7 with no room for error is a way of life that does not allow for such things. They're cute and they express emotion. That's 3 strikes right there. Look, I'm not gonna say that you should or shouldn't use them. Do what you want. It's not that serious, but I will say that if you don't use them because you're afraid to express emotion or you're afraid of how it would look to others, I think that's too menial for that to be a logical argument. Like, if
it's also just strange. Why do you care? It's emojis. Like, why are people actually saying that shit? That's crazy work. It's emojis, bro. It's like, when you're hyper analytical of the smallest little details, it's like, damn. I feel like, you never know what could increase your estrogen. I decide to use emojis one day, shit, I could be a woman the next. Yeah. It'll be over then. It's like, holy fuck, how much do you just hate other men, hate yourself, and hate women? It's the weirdest shit ever to me, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
If you think people's respect for you hinges on such a small thing, either they have a serious problem, or you have a serious problem with yourself. I don't think...
That's the other thing, bro. I swear that the societal pressure that people inflict upon themselves is purely their own pressure in their head of what society, their perception of what society is. A lot of the time, I'm like, I don't think it's that deep. And people are tripping about shit. They're like, bro, it's that deep. I'm like, I don't think it's that deep. And it is not that deep. Never is that deep. Holy fuck. Yo. Like, I wore a dress, right? I wore my wife's wedding dress as a joke one time on stream, and I was flexing. I was like, damn, I look good in this shit. I look good in this shit. I was looking insane. And I started doing flips in one of her dresses, too. And it's like, people genuinely are looking at that shit, and they're like, you're poisoning the youth. They're like, holy fuck, you're poisoning masculinity. You're poisoning men. And I'm like, I'm wearing clothing. I'm wearing clothing, and it's not like I'm being exposed. It's not like I'm revealing my body in a weird sexual way. I wasn't doing anything controversial. It's like, it doesn't deserve controversy. It's so goofy to me. It's so fucking goofy. Why are we hyper fixating on what men wear? Or what women wear? Like, why are we hyper fixating on what people wear? It's a weird thing to do. You look weird by being the one to look at it, identify it, and be like, you shouldn't be wearing that. You shouldn't be wearing that. It's it looks a little too sexy for me. It's making me feel some type of way about you and me. Like, that's how I'm taking that. Whenever a person says that, that's how I'm taking it, by the way. So I don't want to kiss you. I don't want to kiss you. But I don't blame you for wanting to kiss me. However, that door's looking mighty clear, buddy. That door might be made of glass. Anyways.
This isn't important at all. Like, seriously, dude, if you want to use a thumbs up emoji, nobody should be having a problem with that. Now, in addition to this, there's also an argument to be made that people rely on emojis too much because they're simply not skilled enough to paint pictures with their words. Now, as I discussed earlier, I wrote this video for the past 2 weeks. There are a lot of nights that I stayed up late writing it, so I'm going to read a line from the script verbatim that made sense in the moment, but I'm having trouble perfectly interpreting right now. So again, my whole point was people think that using emojis is too lazy. And the next sentence was, Shakespeare didn't need heart emojis and emojis of women doctors to write Hamlet, so why do you need them when kindly explaining that Dr. Susanna Jacobs couldn't get your grandmother's heart to start beating again?
Wait, what? What?
Oh. A Reddit user had this to say on the matter. Using emojis instead of words may indicate that you either don't know how or can't be bothered to formulate great sentences.
Okay. Yes, if you're a fucking author. If in every other context, it's not that deep.
Hogwash! I think that argument is both irrelevant and misses the point. Because this isn't an issue of small vocabulary, you're not considering the context in which we're living in. Do you sound like a thesaurus on a daily basis? No, then why should your text messages? Should they not be a reflection of how you would be saying these words in person? To try and paint pictures with words is beautiful in books and poetry, but when I'm just like talking to you casually while doing something else, I don't want to read that. It's pompous and annoying. There is no better way to convey emotions in a brief and concise manner than the modern emoji. And that kind of bleeds into the last argument, that emojis are too casual. That's correct. I'd agree with that statement. Yeah, what's the problem with that? Texts are casual. That's not 90% of my texts are casual. If it's serious, if there's something serious, call me. Talk to me in person. Don't send it if you can do otherwise. For the most part, texts are for fun and casual conversations, and I think that it's perfectly acceptable for messages to reflect that. We're chilling here. We're cool. I don't want to read eloquent and heartfelt stories in my iMessage. I just want funny and brief and like clever emoji combos. Those are always fun. I like seeing that. So what have we learned here today? That people don't know how to shut up. That is to say, people love communication. And as complicated as it can be, amongst the chaos and confusion, there is often beauty in companionship. So may the emoji live on in our screens and in our world. This has been a very stupid video about emojis. Good night, America.
I wasn't expecting him to do that. That's fucking awesome. Yo, that was a amazing video, by the way. Holy shit. I must subscribe to you, David Achu. I love this man. That was a beautifully constructed video.